Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. It goes without saying that 2026 has been a crazy year for the TCG market in general, but maybe especially for Disney Lorcana. Throughout the year we've seen some massive price increases in not only sealed products but also in several of the most desirable cards from this TCG. Now, while this can have a positive impact on the hobby and especially on the level of interest it may attract, it does also has as a result that a lot of cards became out of reach for a big amount of collectors. Now, it's good to know that also in these times there actually are pretty rare and beautiful cards that can still be obtained for a pretty affordable price. In this video I introduce 6 enchanted cards to you that all can be obtained for a price of less than 100 euros or dollars and could be worth taking a look at for your collection. The first card I want to talk about is the beast Relentless Enchanted from the Rise of the Floodborn set. If I'm completely honest, I think this is an absolute no-brainer at the current market price, and it might even be one of the most interesting tips from this video. In the United States, this card has an estimated value at the moment of making this video of around $85, and in Europe its average price is laying somewhere around 70 or 75 euros. There are a couple of reasons why I think this card isn't today nothing less than a screaming buy. At first, it's a card from the second Lorcana set that has been released on the market called Rise of the Floodborn. Now, this is a set from November of 2023, and we do know that it might take some time for cards to stabilize in value. In my opinion, a lot of newer enchanteds have a lot higher value that's not always completely justified, while I think that some older enchanteds like this one are by now heavily underpriced. Especially because it's a very iconic character from the Disney universe and because it features art from one of the most thrilling scenes from the movie. As long as this card stays under 100 euros or dollars, I'm really convinced that this is a screaming buy, not in the least because this is the very first enchanted with art from the beast. Now, the second card from this list might come as a surprise to a lot of people, but I think also the Raya Commandant Rider is absolutely worth taking a look at. Now, I know a lot of collectors are not the biggest fan of the golden finish that is to be found on certain enchanteds, and I get that, but on the moment of recording this video you're able to buy this card for a price of on average between 40 and 50 euros in Europe and around $50 in the United States. Now, obviously, comparing to the beast from Bella and the Beast, Raya is not as iconic, but it is still the main character from the Raya and the Last Dragon movie, and besides that, she is a part of the Disney princess line, and she's the very first Southeast Asian princess. Furthermore, in hand, this card looks, in my opinion, absolutely stunning, and for a price of around only 50 euros or dollars, I do believe this is a card that's absolutely more than worth picking up. When I was looking into the Raya Commandant Rider card, I also noticed the, in my opinion, very beautiful looking Namaari Morning Mist Enchanted from the Rise of the Floodborn set. Namaari is also an important character from the Raya and the Last Dragon movie, and however I of course do understand that this is by far not the most iconic character from the Disney universe, I think the art on this card with Namaari riding Surlot is absolutely heavily underrated. I am not saying that this card should be extremely expensive, but at the moment of making this video it looks like it's easily possible to obtain this card for a price of less than 50 euros or dollars. Now, maybe this is a bit of a bold statement to make, but in my opinion almost all the enchanteds that are available on the market justify a price of about 100 euros or dollars or more. Now, there are of course a couple of exceptions, but the rarity in combination with the beautiful art on this card ensure that I think that also this is a very affordable and pretty rare card that could be well worth it adding to your Disney Lorcana collection. There's even in a PSA 10 because, believe it or not, but I see this card being sold with the perfect PSA 10 grade for around 100 euros or dollars, so also this is definitely something that you can consider if you prefer collecting slabs. Before continuing with the 3 last enchanted cards from this list, I would also like to draw your attention to another rarity within Disney Lorcana, of which I think it might be worth taking a closer look at. However, the most interest of collectors is going towards iconics and enchanteds, also a lot of epics are looking absolutely amazing. Because let's face it, my friends, however the cards in this list are all having a price point of less than 100 euros or dollars, for collectors that only have very limited funds available, even these cards might be out of reach. If that is the case for you, then taking a closer look at some of the epic cards from this TCG could be more than worth it. And most of these cards are available for a price of just a couple of euros and dollars, and however they are a lot less rare comparing to the enchanted and especially the iconics, they can without a doubt form a very nice addition to your Disney Lorcana collection. Let's quickly take a look at a couple of the epic cards that I personally find very beautiful and are having a very affordable price. And in my opinion, very beautiful card is the Jasmine Vine Expert epic from Attack of the Vine, but what also to think from the Winnie the Pooh Hungry Bear from Winterspell. I understand this card is with the price of about 15 euros or close to $20, a bit more expensive, but I think this might then also be one of the best epics on the market at this moment. Of course, a lot of Disney Lorcana collectors are also a huge fan of Mickey Mouse, and also this extremely popular character got an amazing looking epic in Winterspell. For a price of a bit less than the Winnie the Pooh, it is possible to add this very beautiful Mickey Mouse Bob Cratchit card to your collection. Now maybe it's because I really like the cozy looking winter theme from the Winterspell set, but if you are looking to buy some epics, the ones from this set are absolutely more than worth taking a look at. Now I have a more in-depth video coming in the coming weeks about the most beautiful and interesting epic cards within Disney Lorcana, so if that is something that you're interested in, then be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on that and many more important and interesting videos about this beautiful trading card game. Okay, so now let's continue with the rest of the list. One of the absolute cheapest enchanteds on the market on today is the Maleficent, Mistress of All Evil card from the Into the Inkland set. Now I have to admit this card doesn't have the best art, it has a pretty dark and somber design, and obviously it's not the most popular character from the Disney universe, but there could just like that be one very important catalyst for this card. By now we know that Ravensburger and Disney are bringing serialized cards to the Disneylorcanatcg in 2027, and the first serialized card from the Into the Inkdark set that has been announced is, you guessed it, Maleficent. Now I am not saying that this is a play that you have to make and this will increase the price of the Maleficent, Mistress of All Evil enchanted by a lot, but it actually could have some impact. Obviously, the real reason why I've added the card to this list is the price, because on the moment of recording this video, it's pretty easy to obtain this card for a price of around 50 to 60 euros in Europe and $60 to $70 in the US. However, the popularity of this character isn't that high. For one of the most important and well-known villains from the Disney universe, I still believe it's undervalued, and also this card could end up being easily 100 euros or dollars or more. The fifth card from this list is called Finders Keepers, and for fans of Aladdin this is of course a more than iconic art. The art on this card is featuring the moment that Iago took Ginny's golden lamp and flew away with it. Now on the moment of making this video, this is an enchanted that you could add to your collection for a price of just 40 to 50 euros or dollars. Now when I first saw the card, I have to admit I didn't really feel anything for it. I thought the art looked a bit empty and superficial, and maybe that's a bit the same feeling that I'm having on today. Now this having said, for fans of Aladdin, I do think this could be a more than decent card to add to your collection, because again, as time goes by and taking into account the fact that Disney Lorcana remains popular, also this is a card that could end up around 100 euros or dollars or more. It's still an enchanted, it's still pretty rare, and it's still an iconic scene from an absolutely beautiful story. I personally think that Into the Inklands is a very important Disney Lorcana set. It brought some pretty popular characters to the game, and it was the set that introduced locations. One of the enchanteds from this set is Kida, Protector of Atlantis, and now you are probably starting to see a pattern in this list. It is hard to say that Kida is one of the most iconic Disney characters, because simply put, she's not, but she does remain the main heroine and princess from the animated Disney movie Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Now I have to admit this is a typical card that or you're a big fan of it or you hate it. Now personally I really like the design of the card, and I'm really surprised that it's still easily possible to buy this enchanted for a price of around 60 to 70 euros in Europe and around 80 to $90 in the United States. You're even still able to find a PSA 10 copy of this card for a price of around 120 to 130 euros or dollars on auction. However, we do start to see the price of this card climbing, with recent solds laying a lot closer to the 200 euros or dollars or even more. Now personally I'm a big fan of this card, so in my opinion also this is a beautiful piece to add to your collection at an on today very affordable price. As you've noticed throughout this video, there is a good reason why most of the cards from this list have the low price that they are having on today. Most of the time the cards are not featuring very iconic characters, they might not be very playable anymore, or collectors are not really appreciating the art that much. And the one exception in this list that is also the most important card to look at is, in my opinion, the Beast Relentless Enchanted from the Rise of the Floodborn set. I mean, honestly, there is absolutely no reason why this card shouldn't be at the very least 100 euros or dollars, or maybe even more. I think if you didn't also get the Beast Gracious Prince Enchanted from Fabled, because let's admit it, the art on that card is beyond this world, the price of the Relentless Beast Enchanted would probably be nowhere near where it is today. Anyway, if you are a Disney Lorcana collector and you are looking to pick up some very cheap and potentially also very interesting enchanteds, all the cards that I've mentioned in this video could definitely be worth taking a look at. So okay guys, this brings me to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video and you found value in it, then please as always consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye bye.